A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. I'm Ritwika Gupta. Now the theme for our show this season is Agility, Ambition, Ascent. And through every conversation, we aim to provide you, the entrepreneurs, with the right information, tools and strategies for success, especially during uncertain times like macroeconomic volatility, rising protectionism and all that's happening around the world. Tonight, the focus is on the hospitality industry that has undergone significant transformation during the COVID-19 pandemic. To understand opportunities and challenges for businesses in the sector, I'm going to be in conversation with Arjun Baljee, President, Royal Orchid Hotels and founder, Iconica Hotels and Resorts. Arjun, welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow. It's a pleasure to be chatting with you today.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
So Arjun, let's start with a wider lens. The hospitality sector in India is set to cross 1,000 crores, 100,000 crores actually by FY26. I just want to know, what is your take on the current state and also some of the opportunities that you think are the most promising for businesses in this industry?
So it's a lovely milestone for us to be talking about. But let's look at the broader context for a second. 100,000 crores is roughly, $15 billion?
Yeah.
In an economy that's $4 trillion, you're really looking at 0.6% or something along those numbers, which is paltry sums of money. So we're just scratching the surface and we have a long way to go. Now this is a function of, as disposable income increases, travel increases, and India's only seeing disposable income now over the last, I want to say, decade. Right? So as you see us hitting that $3,000 to $4,000 average per capita income mark, you'll see the amount of discretionary spend going up. Therefore, it's great that we've hit this 100,000, but really it accounts for nothing in the grand scheme of things, right? We did 2 million voluntary tourists into India last year. And by that I mean, if I have $1,000 in my pocket, where do I voluntarily go and spend that money? Could be Thailand, could be Nepal, could be Dubai, could be wherever. Right. So you had 2 million people voluntarily coming to India. This has nothing to do with, people being coming to see their family. This has nothing to do with business traveler coming here. It is me voluntarily choosing India as a tourism destination of choice.
Sure.
Right? Now counter that with 2.1 million Indians went to Thailand last year. Okay, so really we're just scratching the surface. And therefore, there's huge opportunity.
So tell me something, there's a lot going on around the world with macroeconomic volatility. There are rising protectionism as well. You have a lot of geopolitical conflicts and hospitality and tourism, and it's a sector that has been very vulnerable to these kind of threats, and of course changing consumer behavior as well. What is your approach to handle uncertain times? What is your approach?
I'll put it in two buckets, right? The first is the macro environment itself. I think over a period of time, what you will see is countries will become far more insular and far more protectionist of their own native kind. So you see that happening, say, in the UK, right? The UK, because of its position and where it is, right, at one side decided that, we're going to start taking away the whole non-norm taxation piece. That chased away a whole number of people, right? Now, because they want to protect their local population. Right?
Yeah.
Now, right or wrong, that's up for debate. Right? Brexit was another such idea. So, but when it comes to say an India perspective, you look at it, what are we doing right and what are we doing wrong, right? So what are we really doing right? And I think the government has to be given all the credit for that, is finally understanding and realizing that tourism can add a dent, not just to that one tourist destination, but to the whole long tail of tourism, right? If somebody orders let's say a sandwich, all the way down to the last tomato wala, right? He's making money. Okay, so there is a long tail of tourism that we should not discount, and the government is now understanding that. And if you think about it, we in India have tens of thousands of locations in this vast country that still need to be discovered, and discovered in a measured, conscientious manner and not exploited. That's kind of the what we need to be mindful of. If you look at some of our hill stations, we've taken those hill stations and exploited it, right? Where average temperature has gone up. Now the streets are terrible. It's a mess, right? But so with opportunity comes pitfalls, and with that we just need to be mindful of what we're doing and how we are planning it. Right?
Sure.
That's really, I think, where I see us. But as far as us as Royal Orchid is concerned, Royal Orchid Hotels is an Indian hotel company by DNA, and catering to the Indian hotel market predominantly, or the Indian traveler. Now there are 100 million Indian travelers, right, domestic tourists in the country. That's a large enough number of people for us to target. So as long as there isn't any local risk, right, of terrorism or anything along those lines, I think we'll be okay for the near term.
Right. So we are having this interview at the Iconica, your newest property. Tell me, what is the inspiration behind this? In fact, tell us, what consumer insights led to the formation of Iconica?
Well, go back to COVID as recently as that, right? Post-COVID, you suddenly saw a bump in consumer behavior, which was, you only live once. You want to go and enjoy your weekend getaway.
Yeah.
India's demographic is that the younger are getting wealthier. Okay. But the younger, their taste preferences aren't that of our parents' generation. So the idea of luxury or the idea of upscale does not mean gold gilding, right? It could be, natural varnished wood finish. The idea of luxury is not 20 waiters hovering around you, but to get service when you want it, and service should be felt and not seen. Sure. So as you see customer behavior changing, and that's happened, I'd say, over the last, I want to say, just 5 years, right? We needed to come up with a product that catered to that sort of a upwardly mobile consumer.
Sure.
And we've completely done the interiors and we're ready to go. And the positioning of it was, we wanted to do a hotel unlike anything we've ever done. I mean, Royal Orchid Bangalore is our flagship hotel, but at the core of it all, it is a hotel that was designed in 2001. It was designed for the previous generation.
Sure.
Right? So how do you now design a hotel that is catering to the 35 to 50 upwardly mobile, worldly wise traveler who wants informality yet wants service and I want to say quiet luxury.
And, it is also very strategically situated near the Mumbai International Airport. So is it because you are targeting like frequent flyers, the MICE segment, or is it for a broader travel demographic?
So listen, this is purely opportunistic, as everything we do.
Right.
This property came up. There were us and a couple of other fellow hoteliers bidding for it. We bid, we won. We don't have a hotel in Mumbai. And this, from a strategic group perspective, you need a hotel in Mumbai. So purely opportunistic, okay?
Okay.
Then came the issue of, oh God, now we've got this hotel, now what do we do with it, right? So, when I show you what we've done around the hotel and why it is different, we decided to start with the pain points of the consumer, right? Not from a I mean, it's a hotel located at the airport. Does not necessarily mean it's an airport hotel. Okay, so that distinction I want to just kind of put to. It's a hotel product that kind of go or a brand that we can plonk anywhere. Okay, so but from a traveler's pain point perspective, we're saying, listen, if a guest spends an average of less than 2 nights in a hotel like this, right? What do they need for those 2 nights? So we said, listen, firstly, let's give him exciting food and beverage spaces within the hotel so that in those 2 nights that he's here, he's never bored and never runs out of an option. So that the following time he comes back, he still has something new to see. Okay, that was one.
Sure.
The second thing is just from the space design perspective. I mean, you walk into the hotel, you walk into a bar, you don't walk into a lobby. And that's because we find that we want there to be a hub of activity. And most hotels do have a lobby lounge, right? And that's always a hub of activity, but it's a boring hub of activity. Well, okay, how do you make an exciting hub of activity? Catering again to that 30 to 50-year-old upwardly mobile guy, right? Come here, have a drink, have a meeting, relax, and that's it.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13, in conversation tonight with Arjun Baljee, President Royal Orchid Hotels and founder of Iconica Hotels and Resorts. Listen in. Tell us then, how are you viewing technology and the role of technology, and how you have incorporated that, across not just here, but maybe your properties as well, and especially the use of AI, how perhaps that has changed, consumer experience.
Well, AI is being bandied around as the next big thing, and it really is, okay? So just to give you a small example of something we're testing today, at a group level, we're testing a little AI bot that if the telephone at the front desk isn't answered in 3 rings, an AI chatbot takes it over and will communicate with you as effectively as a human being does. Now, that's to ensure that there are no call drops when we don't miss a call coming in, right? But also, once we train it and it becomes better, we'll hopefully make that far more efficient and actually understand the real reason why a customer's calling. Is there the data that we can extract from that call? So there's all of that. For us today, it's a few areas of immediate touch point, right? So as I said, WhatsApp is something that we're using extensively across the hotel for communication. Now that WhatsApp for communication just makes it seamless, makes it easy. And then, that's one portion of it. Everyone in the hotel, all the staff especially, can make orders and monitor what's happening in the hotels through their smartphone. So, we want to make their life easier as well, right? As well as from the customer point of view. We have a really cool rewards program, okay, that we launched a few months ago. It's called Regenta Rewards. Okay. And in the 5 months that it's been launched, we have 500,000 customers already enrolled on that.
Fantastic.
The true worth of that rewards program is to use that customer data and their habits and then tailor make options for that customer, right? And everybody talks about exactly that. But in order to truly make it happen, you need a data lake, right? So that, I think, is the first step, where you want to understand our customer, get to know them, get their data, and then we can bung in AI tools and all of that to make it. But to your thing, AI is going to be transformative. It's going to help us make decisions using data and not using gut. And the moment you transform from people to process using data and not gut, you then become a more solid organization going forward.
Right. Arjun, correct me if I'm wrong. You have 5 brands in your portfolio. Tell me, how do you ensure brand coherence, and consistency, and as well as guest loyalty across all your brands?
So, this 5 brand idea is a few month old idea. Okay. Uh, the few month old idea was, you know, somebody told me at a dinner, but I want to say again 6 months ago, that we are among the largest hotel companies in India that he's never heard of. Okay, and the reason for that is very simple. That it's we have 115 hotels.
Okay.
People still know us at Royal Orchid hotels, but we have 13 Royal Orchid hotels. That's it. Okay, the rest of them are Regenta hotels. And in the Regenta bucket, there's Regenta the 4-star all the way down to Regenta the 2-star. Okay, that's it across. Now, this was a huge opportunity to take these hotels and bucket it into various different buckets, right? So you've got Regenta Inn, which will become Regenta Z, which is a younger, cooler hotel, for the millennial per se. So the new Gen Z type boutique budget value price neighborhood hotel, that was one, all the way up to Iconica, which is the 5th sitting on the top, right? This plan is just being unveiled as we speak, right? And I think it's easy to launch a brand on social media and out in the press. But what we wanted to actually do is come up with a physical example of what the brand should stand for.
Sure.
And therefore, you're sitting here in Iconica, right? Which is the first Iconica, and therefore it's a new brand with a new hotel as an example, right? And we'll do that across each of the 5 categories to demonstrate what each one of them should mean, A, to the consumer, B, to our partners, C, to our employees, and then roll them out as they come.
All right. Arjun, just before the interview, I was telling you at Leaders of Tomorrow, we try and provide insights to a lot of young entrepreneurs, small business owners, startup founders. So I want to ask you the role of MSMEs in the hospitality industry. What role do they play? And perhaps how are you partnering with them, in terms of sourcing or any other partnership, if you could talk to us about?
So listen, except the few FMCG larger brands that are, like Coke, Coke or Pepsi, unfortunately, is a duopoly. Now maybe Campa in there, but say within our rooms, right, we partnered with a lot of the startup ecosystem, say for things like kombucha. Okay, there are enough and more startups out there doing health granola bars, health bars, so on and so forth, right? So how do we give them the ability, right, to come and sell their wares even to the end consumer? Now, if I look at the hotel room, I have the customer captive in that hotel room staring at a shelf that has product. And we have, well, at the end of this year, we'll have close to 10,000 hotel rooms like that, right? So is there a way for the smaller entrepreneur or the startup, a startup is bandied around, but the MSME type of entrepreneur, can they partner with us to actually do proof of concept across the country, across different demographics, across different hotel sizes, different price points? Absolutely. Are we testing that with a couple of founders? Absolutely. So our first thing is that, listen, we are a founder-led hotel brand, okay, a founder-led hotel company.
Yeah.
And therefore, we would love to partner with founders and entrepreneurs to kind of, we're fortunate we have this platform. So to give anyone a leg up, by all means, So except except where we have no other choice, our first port of call is always to go to someone who has the passion to, build something out.
All right. So then on that note, tell me, what would your advice be for entrepreneurs who want to make a mark in the hospitality sector?
Oh God, hospitality, don't get into it. Okay. No, listen, on a lighter note, this is, I tell people, this is the industry where we work so that somebody else parties. Okay. And that's the first thing that you got to understand, that if you're getting into this business, it's a 24/7, 365 job. It's not a 9 to 5 and I'm done, right? It's round the clock. It is brutal. It's painful. And you can't take anything personally.
Right.
So you have to have the thickest skin on earth to get into this business. And I'll give you a small example. Today, everybody has access to social media, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has access to Google reviews. So we've not even opened this hotel, and there's a review of this hotel, right?
Yeah.
That's a 1-star rating on how terrible it is. Okay?
How does that happen?
Okay, well, we found out that, it was an employee from a competitor who wanted to show us down type of stuff, right? But now, my point there is, everybody with a cell phone has a voice. Most of the time, they are right. Sometimes it is unfair what you get to hear about a place that you have put in your hard work, sweat and tears on, right? But you got to take it on the chin and move on, right? So if you have to get into this industry, the thickest skin, right, is the first thing, and a relentless amount of energy, right? You cannot afford to be tired for a single day.
Right.
That's the industry, unfortunately.
So then, Arjun, finally tell me, what is your vision 2030? What's the long-term plan?
At our investors meeting a couple of weeks ago, we announced that, so we're 115 hotels. We want to be at 345 by 2030. It is an addition of 200 odd hotels, split among the 5 brands, and split among the 5 brands pretty sensibly. To give you an example, this year we have 41 hotels under various stages of development and opening. So really 5 years, 200 hotels is 50 hotels a year, right?
Yeah.
This is without us. So if we are already at 41 for year 1, okay, we'll do 9 more and hit that target, right? Or accelerate. So it's not an outlandish claim, right? Can it be surpassed? Yes. We need, to ensure that now it's just meticulous focus towards execution, and that's it. It's just single-minded focus in making sure it happens.
Fantastic. Well, all the very best to you. Over to you. Thank you so much for being on Leaders of Tomorrow.
Thanks. It's a pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks so much. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.